Good morning. You're listening to AVNewsCast.com on NewsTalk 1380, and apparently this is The Boy.
This is a what?
The Boy.
Yeah.
What do you mean, the boy?
I was told I better get here earlier, boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I sure didn't say it.
Wow. No, go ahead.
I got 20 years on her. I don't know who she's calling boy. But
Yeah.
okay. I had to give you a hard time.
So for the last couple of weeks, off and on, we've had candidates that are running for California State Assembly for the 36th seat. There's 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats running. Everybody to date has been on the show except Suzette Martinez, who is with us live in studio today.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, thanks for coming. It's a pleasure. I know
You're
that
the only woman, too, right?
Yes, I
All
am.
right.
Yeah,
Hold your own, girl.
good for me.
Is that a benefit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just statistically, if you look at just things that people vote on, if you're a woman, if you're a minority.
You got
these
a
are
couple
these
of
are
things.
extra votes. Your
Yeah.
placement on the ballot.
Yeah.
There's a science kind of to it.
Which is a shame in a sense, right?
It is
Yeah.
because people should really do the research to find out what your candidate
Regardless.
stands for, not just that name's pretty, she's a girl, he's a
Right.
boy.
Yeah, that bit
He's
me
a-
when I voted by name in the past, and I voted for Quackenbush.
JJ.
Yeah.
JJ Quackenbush.
Yep, that bit
I remember
me in the
that.
butt.
Long
Yeah.
time
That's a
ago.
funny
You
name.
should have known coming in. Come on.
I went to your website, Suzette, and did a little research because you have to, right?
Good.
I see that Tony Strickland's endorsing you,
Yes.
which means that it's no surprise, by extension, that Lancaster Mayor R.X. Paris endorses you because he's backing Tony Strickland as well.
Yes.
Okay. Rex has been in the news a lot in the last week.
Yes.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think he's taking some heat, so I don't know if it's a good thing. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to him about what's going on, and that phone call's in the works.
I remember at the last Lancaster Chamber
What'd you think
luncheon.
about that whole letter thing?
I'm not going to comment because, again, Rex is my friend, and I would like to have a conversation about what happened, right?
If my friend did that, I would speak on it.
You'd give
but
him a
okay.
call?
Yeah, I would speak on it.
But would you
loudly.
call them first?
Yeah, I probably
Yeah.
would call him first and say
that's-
I will
I
be
wanna-
speaking on that.
Which is what I want to do. I want to
Okay,
give him that courtesy.
fair
of
enough.
giving
I
him
wish
a
you would
call.
have called him before you came in today.
I got my copy
I know
yesterday.
you've been talking about this
Oh,
the
yeah.
last couple of weeks.
I got my copy. I'm hanging on to that.
Oh, you did? You can frame that. Suzette, question. Republicans held the seat for, 34 years, okay, in this district.
Yeah.
And then lost it in 2012. Clearly, they want to get the seat back.
Yep.
In wanting to get the seat back, why not put all your weight behind one candidate rather than dilute everything?
Because I think you want the best candidate. Because just as much as Republicans want this seat back, Democrats want to hold this seat. So if you don't have a strong candidate that can win the primary, that has what I call the ganas, which is a desire to win, then they're not going to make it past the general. So I think that it's important that we have quality, good candidates, and we do. There are 3 very good quality Republicans running for this ticket. And I think that whoever wants it more, whoever works harder, is the right person to beat Fox in the general.
It's tough to beat an incumbent.
Yes, it's
Okay.
very tough to beat. But it's not as tough to beat a first-term incumbent who honestly won accidentally.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it was accidentally.
Wow.
I mean,
140
I mean,
some
there was
votes
a
wasn't an
well,
accident.
no. If you recall what happened in that election cycle, right? 145 votes is close. It's less than 1 vote per precinct, right? There's 198 precincts in this district. Well, there was a lot of things going on in that election. You had a presidential election. You had Proposition 30, which the governor was pushing. You had a union, Proposition 32, Proposition 38. There was a lot of money being spent to pull out Democrat voters in that election cycle. That isn't going to happen again this cycle. So it was a little bit of a perfect storm.
Yeah, the stars were in alignment.
The stars were in alignment. So the stars aren't always in alignment. And when they are, it can sometimes be an accident.
I think in the primary, I think it's going to be a very close election all over the place.
I mean, as it was before.
I think there's no question about that. In California, California is not very competitive right now when it comes to business, okay? They have a very broken business model. How do you fix that? Okay, and my other question to you is, on top of that, being a Republican, having a supermajority in Sacramento, one, how do you fix that, and how do you get something accomplished being a Republican?
Well, you're right. The supermajority creates an opportunity for Democrats to get rid of the 2/3 threshold to raise taxes, which is bad for California, which is one of the major reasons that for all Californians, Democrat, Republican, Liberal, Green Party, whatnot, it's good to not give any one party that authority to do what they want. I think they haven't taken too much liberty this past 2 years. But that is also because I think Governor Brown has vetoed quite a bit and said, we're not going to spend, we're not going to spend.
Right.
So I think that he's kind of held a little bit more control over the legislature. I think that when it comes to creating business, there's a lot of things that we can do. I'm running because I want to bring back growth and opportunity to California, to the 36th Assembly District, through creating jobs and through improving education. And these are directly linked. Businesses have left California because of overregulation and because of taxes. I think that reforming CEQA, I think upholding Proposition 13, I think making a more energy-independent California by possibly allowing for fracking. And when I say fracking, responsible fracking, there are lots of things that we can do, whether it's lowering taxes or getting rid of regulations in this regulation crazy California, that can bring back jobs. But one of the other things that we need to realize is what is also just as equally important as our education system. And that's one of the major reasons that I'm running, is because our students are not ready to be a part of the workforce. They're not skilled. They're not prepared for college. If you look at the data, the statistics of what's going on in our own district, only 33% of students are grade level proficient in math. 45. And that is typically 10 to 12 points lower than the rest of California. It's unacceptable.
We're like Mississippi.
Yeah. We're right there. Yes,
Yeah.
we're right behind. I think we're ahead of Mississippi, maybe by
By a
one.
hair. Yeah. Well, and
More ways than one.
yeah.
So, but hypothetically though, hypothetical situation, you're elected, you go to Sacramento, you're going to work both sides of the aisle?
For the past 2 years, I've been working for a nonprofit organization as an education advocate. And it was a hard transition, not a hard transition, it was a shocking transition to go from working for a conservative Republican, being very involved in the Republican Party, to working in the education industry, which is very liberal, right? And in early childhood education. And it has been quite an experience for me, because what I've learned is, one, our education system is more broken than I thought it was, one. Two, that Democrats do have some good ideas.
Really?
I believe in a two-party system. My mom's a Democrat, so she's probably the only Democrat I would ever vote for. But I've had to learn to work with Democrats, and I've had to learn that I'm not always right, and sometimes my ideas are good, and sometimes they'll work, and sometimes we can agree on that. And I think that this job for the past 2 years has prepared me for that Sacramento climate.
Interesting.
You talk a good game.
No,
I gotta give it to you. You really do.
We've had all the other candidates on, okay? JD was on, and his response to that question was something like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys,
I sure will.
but it was something like, maybe I can't get up there and get stuff done because there is a supermajority, but I can certainly throw a wrench in whatever they want to do.
And lock it up.
Well,
Okay.
I think that, while I wouldn't completely agree with JD, I'm not going to Sacramento to just throw a wrench in something. I'm going to get stuff done because the stakes are high. I have 13 nieces and nephews, 5 of them which live in this district. And I want a California for them that has jobs.
Children
that
and
has-
puppies always work. Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
I mean it's really what drives me. It is when I'm Latino, so my culture is about my family, and it's about doing good. And my family has actually been in California for my dad's side about 100 years. They're originally from Kern County, worked in the fields during the labor movement. My dad has some amazing stories. And my mom's side is Puerto Rican, Mexican, and she's first generation born here. So I definitely have those two aspects of what it's like to be a hardworking immigrant and a California native. And I love California. And what's going on in California and the policies that have been created have torn us down apart. They've created an achievement gap for Black and Latino students that's the worst in the nation. And I'm not willing to sit back and let that continue to happen.
Right on. I'm watching Angelina while we're doing this, okay? I'm watching Angelina, and it's almost like you're talking to her, okay? And it's interesting because Jeff and I are Republican. Angelina's a Democrat. But she's very engaged in what you're saying. This is really interesting because in this election, it happened the last time, but I think it will happen more this time. People will not necessarily be voting their party. I think people are voting for the candidate that they like. And we'll talk more about that. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to AV Newscast on NewsTalk Radio 1380, and we'll be right back.
Guns, ammo, and much more. It's the Lancaster Gun Show coming to the AV Fairgrounds in Lancaster April 5th and 6th, Saturday from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 to 4. Find outrageous deals on guns of all kinds, ammo, leather goods and holsters, binoculars, scopes, and much more. Pay admission on Saturday and return on Sunday. TheLancasterGunShow.com. That's TheLancasterGunShow.com. Tickets now available online at TheLancasterGunShow.com. You want guns? We got them. Guns, ammo, and much more. It's the Lancaster Gun Show coming to the AV Fairgrounds in Lancaster April 5th and 6th, Saturday from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 to 4. Find outrageous deals on guns of all kinds, ammo, leather goods and holsters, binoculars, scopes, and much more. Pay admission on Saturday and return on Sunday. TheLancasterGunShow.com. That's TheLancasterGunShow.com. Tickets now available online at TheLancasterGunShow.com.
If you're thinking about getting your backyard in shape for entertaining, there's only one place to shop, and that's Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale. At Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale, you'll save up to 70% off retail every day at our factory warehouse showroom. Abadak has everything you need to get your backyard in shape, like 7.5-foot tall, 41,000 BTU, freestanding LPG patio heaters for just $159.99. How about a fully enclosed backyard gazebo? Fire up that barbecue and enjoy a nice meal inside one of our Mandalay, Trinidad, or Mykonos freestanding gazebos, just $219.97 every day. If you want wholesale prices, come to Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale. How about backyard shade or car canopies? You can pick a variety of color choices starting at just $129.97. Stop by Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale. We're located at 38940 Trade Center Drive, 1 block east of 10th Street West. The Abadak Factory Showroom is open from 8 to 4 every day. That's Abadak Outdoors at 38940 Trade Center Drive in Palmdale, where you'll save up to 70% off retail every day. Check us out on the web at abadak.com or give us a call at 661-480-1562.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com on NewsTalk 1380.
You know what?
Oh.
What just struck me just
Steve
a
got the
second
finger
ago.
right.
I'm
Just
sorry.
bop, bop, bop.
I'm sorry.
Bop, bop, bop.
I didn't want to talk over you. But you don't sound like the typical Republican, and that's concerning me because how do you if you get elected, how do you do what you're supposed to as a Republican, but you don't? It doesn't sound like you're a true typical Republican, and I don't understand how you're there.
And she's a conservative Republican.
Which
Yeah,
I'm thinking about
get it.
you. Are you a real Democrat? I'm not.
No, you know what?
know.
This is what I am. I'm somebody that wants the representative to represent all people, and I don't necessarily think that the super rich need a whole lot of representation. Because I think that they've already bought their spots, so I don't tend to.
I mean, I
that's my
disagree
thing.
in that I think that all people need to be represented.
Yeah.
Represented. And what happens at that super rich when it comes to the 1% in terms of California's budget, in terms of a lot of things, is important to the working class, the working poor, the unemployed. There's a lot more things that are linked than people realize. So I think that you can't just look at things. You sometimes have to step back and look at the entire picture, which is what I've been doing, and really assessing that education is we need education reform. And we have to do that for our businesses, for our labor force, for our families, for our communities.
No Common Core?
So I am a skeptic of Common Core. I believe
Amen.
in standards. I think that standards are important. I think that we need to be competitive both on the national level and the international level. So it's important. But I am a skeptic when you adopt something or you implement something and you don't really know that the data is there to back it. One thing I've learned in education and early childhood education is if you want to be successful, if you want to promote something, you promote something that has results and outcomes. And I'm a skeptic because I don't know that Common Core has those results, has those outcomes that we're looking for here in California.
Well, we know what we're doing right now is broken.
Well, yes.
And the only thing they have packaged up right now is the Common Core. So we better make it work.
That and LCFF, the local funding control formula,
That's true.
Which I think is I really like local funding control formula in that it brings it back to the local level, right? Every community is different. So the needs of your community, what you want to be teaching in your classrooms in your community should be tailored to your community, not just to the state, not just at the national level. And that's another thing that we're agreeing on, which is it tends to be a Republican thing, right? We like more local government.
I'll never admit it.
Because California has too much government.
Yes, government is in the Antelope Valley and the 36th Assembly District. Government is the biggest industry, and that's a problem. We've created no private sector jobs since 2009. None, not one. We've lost 14. None.
Yeah, that's crazy. But how do you really make a dent in that? I mean, I hear that everybody wants to bring jobs. I hear it. But how do you, once you're elected, how are you going to actually go get somebody to come here and plant their seed here? How does that really happen?
Well, I think it's through looking at the regulations that we have on the books, right? It's looking to see, can we get rid of the business permit, or can we lower the $800 that it costs to $400 so we can create new businesses? Are there regulations that we can get rid of so that companies can invest in new products or new plants or a variety of things we can look at litigation that often hinders new employers and don't want.
Are you sure you want to look at litigation?
Well, I think, there's some good, we need to protect consumers. I completely agree with that. But we also need to protect employers because they create jobs that put food on the table for lots of families. So there's definitely a delicate balance. I think that when I go to Sacramento, you're right. I'm going to be a small fish in a big pond of Democrats. But I think that we can find some common ground. I think that there are a lot of moderate Democrats, too, that I could work with to look at what's good for California's education system and what's good to bring business to California. So the other thing that, I think that we need to kind of recognize from the Republicans' perspective is that I want to see a California that brings businesses, jobs, and education to our families. But we need more Republicans to do that.
No,
I am not going to be the type of Republican that goes up there and is okay with the status quo. I'm going to do my best to change not only our district, but our state through hopefully electing more Republicans too.
I want Rick Perry losing sleep. That's what I want.
Yeah, but California's outlook when it comes to business, it didn't get broken overnight. Okay? It took a long, long time. So, and if somebody new went to Sacramento, they're not going to fix it in their first year. They're not going to fix it in their second year either. Yeah. Okay? It's going to take a long, long time to fix this.
You're right, but sometimes you just need to be that person that plants the seed. And if that's what my role is supposed to be, then I'll gladly take it.
Yeah, and I totally get it. I mean, you don't say, okay, I'm not going to try because it can't get done in 2 years. I get that. And it took a long time for us to get where we are. And before the Democrats had it, it was run by the Republicans. And kind of this is where we are.
1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Lot of time for damage.
I mean, what's your take on legalizing marijuana? Do you think that would help California's budget?
No, I am anti-legalizing marijuana.
There's a Republican.
And I have, well, I'll be honest with you. My brother had a drug problem, and I see it as a gateway drug, specifically for the Black and Latino communities. It's not something that we need to say it's okay to do for our families. I'm a skeptic. I know that Colorado recently legalized it, but I also know that they've had more accidents and DUIs also, and their insurance premiums are going up there. So there are costs that go with legalizing it, not just revenues. And I don't think I'm willing to accept what those costs are from a morality standpoint.
All right, another question. Tom Lackey has great name recognition in the Antelope Valley. Okay, he's been sitting on the city council. He's the mayor pro tem. He's been on the school board. You and JD are friends.
Yes.
Okay, 3 Republicans. What makes you different than the other 2?
Well, I can answer that.
I've been criticized for not living in the district, for not being in the district, whatnot. But the reality is I've been boots on the ground, working with parents, working with businesses, out there on a daily basis. So as where I don't have the elected name recognition, I do have quite a bit of supporters. This campaign is not going to just be about name recognition. If that was the reality, then there would have been 2 Republicans in the last election cycle, but there wasn't. There was a Democrat and a Republican. I'm sorry. That wasn't open primary.
We get you.
Yeah.
We get
Okay.
you.
But this campaign season, it's different, and we mentioned that earlier. That it's a different dynamic. How do I beat name recognition? Well, I'm knocking on doors, talking to voters. I'm at every community event that I can possibly be at. I'm utilizing my contacts in terms of volunteers, which I have a pretty big volunteer base. Knocking on doors, getting mail out. I think that my voter target, my voter universe is broader than anyone else on this ticket. Because I'm a woman, because I'm a minority, and it's not that makes me better, because we all have to have great ideas, but my audience, I feel that my audience is larger.
About a month ago, Lancaster Chamber had a luncheon. RX Paris spoke. It was about the state of the city, and you were there.
Yes,
Okay?
yes I was.
And prior to that luncheon, Rex had not endorsed anybody, although he did make a statement publicly that, I just may endorse Steve Fox. Okay? He did make that statement. I saw you stand up, you asked him a question, and you could see immediately that Rex liked you. And he said to everybody in the room, this is a very, very, very smart woman. And then about a week and a half later, he endorses you.
I made quite an impression, didn't I?
Yeah, and it was smart to be at that luncheon. It was very smart to be at the luncheon. So right now let's just say you've got 20, 25,000 people listening to you, okay, with only a minute or 2 left to go. What do you want to tell them?
I want to tell them that the stakes are high this election, and that I want to represent my family and your family in Sacramento. I want to see a better education system. I want to see jobs. I want to see prosperity in California again. I want to see a safe California again. And if that's what you want, and that's what you want for your family, if you want growth and opportunity, then vote for Suzette Martinez.
Jerry Brown's he's running for re-election. He's got a war chest of like $20 million.
Yes. And
okay?
he was asleep raising that money.
Yeah. Okay. Like $20 million. Yeah. He did veto a lot of bills that people didn't think maybe he would. Okay. But he did do that to make the Republicans happy. Okay. In a lot of area. How do you feel about AB 1266? And that's going to be the last question, because then we're going to run out of time. But the reason I'm asking you that is, I know you're strong on education. I know you support kids. Okay? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that it's another example of Sacramento not having its priorities. I think that we should be focusing on passing legislation that improves our math, our literacy. We need to focus on education and let me rephrase. It's not that these issues are silly, but I think we need to put our priorities in order.
like ban the plastic bags. I think that's silly, okay? I think we should be taking our time and energy into doing something else.
Well, I think it
Because
was
I don't
take it
care
you
about
would've
the
voted
bags.
no on it.
I probably would have voted no on it, but the statement would have been that we need to focus on preparing our kids for the workforce for a lifetime of success. And if that isn't our priority, then we're on the wrong track.
It was a solution looking for a problem.
Yes.
It really wasn't an issue.
There's too many
But
pieces
yet it was signed. I mean,
Well, look who's
Well,
up
that's
there.
because the governor
he has
signed
to
it.
kind of appease.
And it is
Ooh.
interesting. It had a lot of support from Northern
the
California.
supermajority.
Less support in Southern
Hey.
California.
watch your tongue.
From those liberals in Marin County.
Yes,
but-
Watch your tongue.
Birkenstock wearing.
But if you went out in the Antelope Valley and you polled everybody, the people that are against it are speaking louder. But if you poll everybody, it's almost a 50-50 split.
You're kidding me.
No, it is.
I don't know who you walk around.
I asked both
No,
my
no.
children, who are way more affected than any of us in this room by that issue, and neither one of them want to see that happen. So,
Yeah, but it is. It's almost a 50-50 split.
It is what it is.
I didn't think you'd be in favor of 1266. I wasn't either. I
No
think
one
it's
was.
crazy.
And-
We haven't seen anyone that was.
Well, but it goes back to let's set our priorities straight. It just baffles me that we're sitting here arguing about who's allowed in a bathroom, and I understand that here in the Antelope Valley, there's about 18 students that would be affected by it, right? Which is their
I thought it
I
was
think it's
12, but
less
it
than
could
that.
be.
Okay. Well, the reality is there's a lot more students that need to be ready for college,
Yes.
I
Including
agree.
them.
including them. So let's focus on their math scores and their
Right.
literacy scores, not the 2 times they use the bathroom out of the day.
Right.
I agree 100%. Suzette, it's been great having you here. I wish I could
Thank
keep
you.
you on the show for an hour.
I'll
Because,
stay.
I can't. I will get spanked. Okay? I
Okay.
can't do that.
Thank
okay?
you so much for having me today. It was a pleasure to meet all of you and have some great conversation.
Thank you.
No, it was a pleasure. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the #1 News Talk radio program in the Antelope Valley, AV Newscast, and we'll be right back.
Hello again. This is Bob Alvis of AV Veterans Talk here on NewsTalk 1380. When you hear this,
Mustang 6 Golf, Foxtrot cleared for takeoff.
that means you're getting ready to fly. And that's just what we do every Friday from 11 a.m. till noon, right between Dennis Miller and Sean Hannity. Each week, we fly right into the subjects that are important to our Valley's veterans and pay tribute to those who have served and sacrificed on behalf of our country. So tune in and join our formation. Check us out on Facebook at AV Veterans or call us at 266-4420. So for now, it's wheels up and blue skies. Bob out.
The preceding was a promotion for a paid program.
There's a school in Palmdale that's become the talk of the town. It's called the Guidance Charter School, and many parents say it's magical. The Guidance Charter School is WAS certified, scored 783 in academic performance, and has an educational curriculum that exceeds what the state of California recommends. The curriculum is enriched through age-appropriate exposure for information technology, arts, foreign language such as Arabic, and physical education. The Guidance Charter School is now going to have a full CIF sports program with soccer, basketball, track, cheerleading, and more. They're an open enrollment school, publicly funded, and have been in business for 12 years, fully approved by Palmdale School District. The Guidance Charter School has small class sizes such as 20 students in grades K through 3, 25 in 4 through 8, and just 30 students in grades 9 through 12. Call the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale today at 661-272-1701. That's the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale, 661-272-1701. And check out their website at thegcs.org. A better high school choice.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com on News Talk 1380. And before we get any further, I want to wish a safe trip to Cindy and Frank and Tina. They're on the road right now listening to us.
Good. Well, I've got problems because I liked her.
Uh-oh.
You know what?
Conflicted.
But, I mean, she endorsed by Rex? I'm just...
You know what?
Don't hold that
Okay.
against her. Just listen to what she had to say.
But what is she going to have to pay?
You know what? But here's the thing, okay? A lot of people stand behind what Rex says, okay? Believe it or not.
This
okay?
recent stuff? Don't
The
say
recent
something
stuff, I'm not even gonna, I don't even want to comment on
Okay,
because
yeah,
it's just
so
out
what
of
are you
control.
talking about? A lot of
okay?
people stand behind it.
I think the recent thing is
You
a
mean
negative.
a lot of people follow what Rex says to do? That's probably a better statement.
No, you know what? I don't even want to get into this because all of a sudden the whole show is going to take a whole nother turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you're like
So no.
tripping.
Okay.
Stands behind what he says. Go ahead.
He has a large
Pivot.
following.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
He's got a large group of people that are afraid. I get it.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. How do you even,
Go ahead.
If anyone can, you can.
Yeah.
what a wet towel. Just unreal.
What towel?
Just unreal.
Pivot.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Back to Malaysia Airlines.
Oh, all right. Good
So there's
Lord.
no question now.
Oh, we have a phone call, by the way.
There's no question now that they found the wreckage.
Really?
Okay.
There's still question. They
There's
still got to get there.
122 objects.
Yeah. Well, they went
that
to
they
the
found.
junkyard and they got a
Yep.
good load.
Oh, well, hold on. Let's grab a quick call, then we'll talk more about this. Go ahead, Kenny. Hi, you're on live on NewsTalk Radio.
Oh, Angelina,
Oh, Jesus.
sweetheart.
What did I say now?
I saw somebody look just like you out in front of Vaughn's last night.
What did I say now?
Oh, yes, yes. Nice to see Jeff and Frank outside there. That was great.
Oh, boy.
Yes. What did you say now? Oh, wet towel?
I didn't say that.
Oh,
Steve said
yes.
that.
It's kind of like you're just throwing the entire half hour of the wonderful things that woman had to
You
say,
said that.
and you were mesmerized by her.
Mm-hmm. You should have seen the face.
Oh.
No, I do. I like her.
Well, yes, but then kind of like saying, oh, well, Rex endorsed her. It's kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of people that do, and they're not afraid of Rex. Oh, come on. Please.
Okay.
There are people out there that do respect Rex.
I don't know anybody in this room that's not afraid. Poor Steve.
God,
Black
you know what?
versa, and it's yes, but it rarely comes in Lancaster. So, and let's see. It's all quiet all of a sudden.
Well, we're waiting for you to say what you wanted to say.
Yeah, I'm waiting on you, Chuck.
There's a lot of people that do, even though one mailer doesn't make an entire political life.
No.
No, but you can have a mailer that's pretty
Yeah,
inflammatory and pretty.
No, and
pretty wrong.
if you recall, I had said before the mailer, I had said, I heard nothing but negative, and I was looking forward to having a hi, how are you, Mr. Mayor conversation and getting to know him myself, and then bam, I see this mailer, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe that grain of salt of hope that I was trying to give was ill-fitted because it was all true. Like, I mean, I don't know, and I don't want to give him any more airtime either. The mayor, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's a big old grown man. He knows exactly what his agenda is, and he knows what he wants to get done and how he goes about it. And obviously, he's been pretty successful doing it. So, I don't want to give him any more press, really.
And he did release that apology.
I didn't even see it.
Have you been on Facebook?
Yeah, I have. I haven't seen an apology.
Oh, that's what
I've seen. I'm sorry you were
You really
offended.
can't apologize. You can't really apologize. You knew what you were saying. You knew it wasn't true. What are you apologizing
It just got more
for?
backlash than you
It's
anticipated.
like, come on, say, you were all happy about, the issue when it came up. So why now it's something different? Come on.
I'll tell you all something though. I'm
Go ahead.
not 100% certain that that mailer and then the backlash. I'm not 100% certain that ended up being a positive for John Irvin.
No.
No.
Well, you said the exact opposite a couple days ago.
No, I really didn't.
Yeah, you did. You said, I don't know if that's
play the
really
show back.
You said a couple days ago you're not quite sure if it's going to do what he wanted it to do. That it might backlash for Rex. That's what you said.
Yes, but I'm not positive.
Well, nobody is.
That at the end of the day, I'm not sure. It may just end up being a wash.
It may.
Okay.
We'll see.
It may end up being a
The
wash.
proof of
And what
being
kind
the
of
pudding.
statement is that about us then?
Chuck, what did you did you listen
right?
to Suzette?
I'm sorry?
Did you listen to Suzette?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah. Quite well informed. I was really surprised.
Why surprised?
Surprised because we really hadn't heard of her before.
Okay, got it.
She's not someone who has just thrown her head in. She's been active, and she's aware of the issues. And I really did appreciate her balanced approach, so to speak.
Yeah, I did too. I really did. That's why I said you don't sound like a Republican. Like, what are you doing?
And I love that she said, you don't sound like a Democrat.
Did she? I didn't.
Yep.
I didn't hear that.
Well, that's because you have selective hearing, and we know that. Steve has said that. But then again, maybe I have selective hearing.
No, I thought that she did a really good job, and I think that all of the points that she spoke about was important to my heart. I think important to everybody's here, and it was different than what we've been hearing.
Right. And the very fact that she did bring up the multinational part of her own family.
Yeah.
That is very important.
Well, she's no dummy. She knows that she's a smart cookie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, all we have to do is try to figure out how we can, regardless of whether it's Suzette or it doesn't make any difference which candidate, just to get everybody out to vote.
Yeah,
Okay?
that would be good.
It'd be really nice if we could see something better than 15 or 17% of the registered voters in the Antelope Valley get out and vote.
Well, I'm wondering if a certain advertisement that recently went out might mobilize people.
Well, we'll have to wait.
We'll
and
have
see.
to see.
We'll have to
It
wait
might
and
make
see.
you just really want to stay home and say, you know what? It really doesn't matter.
Oh, but it does.
What do you mean?
No, I'm
Did
just
you
saying,
listen to
based on
that
on the mailer, it could really put a worse taste in people's mouth about voting.
No, did you hear what did you hear what the interview with Tom Lackey was the other day?
I heard ours.
Which one? What are you talking
Or
about?
did you have didn't you have the earphones on? Where he said, no, everybody's vote makes a difference, and it doesn't matter who you vote for, just get out and vote.
Oh yeah, that was on our show.
Really put. He was really good, and that is a consistent theme of his.
Yep.
That is a very consistent, because I hit him with that on the last several elections as well, and he's really passionate about the electoral system, that we need more people to get out and vote and voice their opinion.
Yeah, well, we do. Rather than people sitting at home and complaining.
Yeah.
Okay, if they want to change something,
That's the national pastime, though.
you know-
Forget
You can't
baseball.
complain if you don't vote.
As an example, when Suzette started talking about education, you started paying a lot of attention. Okay, and a lot of people are concerned about education. A lot of people have kids.
Yeah.
You've got in the Antelope Valley, the Palmdale School District is hugely large, with 18,000 kids, and you're lucky if at some of these school board meetings you get 25 people to show up.
It's amazing. And it's not like they don't know, because I know if any of the schools are like my kids' school, Sundown, you get those robocalls. You know. And, just like I spoke about it a week ago or so, I went to the financial meeting and I learned about how my district is broken down by means of how the money is allocated for the kids and what we can do to help and what's needed. And Sundown is the largest school in that district. It has 1,100 kids, and that's a lot of kids. And you have to be concerned, regardless to whether or not you have kids or not. These people are going to be growing up, and you're going to be subject to their control at some point in your old folks' home or not. So it's in everybody's best interest to get these kids as educated as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Chuck, we got to take a break.
Have a great day.
You do the same thing.
Chuck.
It was fun harassing Angelina again.
Oh,
As usual.
I'll be looking for you out there in the streets.
Okay, great. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to AV Newscast on NewsTalk Radio, and we'll be right back.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas? 1 in 300 million. The odds of the daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland spending 11 weeks at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of selling over 40 million records? 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
There's only one place to shop, and that's Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale. At Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale, you'll save up to 70% off retail every day at our factory warehouse showroom. Abadak has everything you need to get your backyard in shape, like 7.5-foot tall, 41,000 BTU, freestanding LPG patio heaters for just $159.99. How about a fully enclosed backyard gazebo? Fire up that barbecue and enjoy a nice meal inside one of our Mandalay, Trinidad, or Mykonos freestanding gazebos. Just $219.97 every day. If you want wholesale prices, come to Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale. How about backyard shade or car canopies? You can pick a variety of color choices starting at just $129.97. Stop by Abadak Outdoors in Palmdale. We're located at 38940 Trade Center Drive, 1 block east of 10th Street West. The Abadak Factory Showroom is open from 8 to 4 every day. That's Abadak Outdoors at 38940 Trade Center Drive in Palmdale, where you'll save up to 70% off retail every day. Check us out on the web at abadak.com or give us a call at 661-480-1562.
Chronic Beats.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com on NewsTalk 1380.
Wow.
Do you remember back on February 9th, Olivia Culbreth was on the 60 freeway, I believe, in a red Camaro, going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. She had some people in her car. One was her sister. Hit another car.
Yeah.
She's due in court this morning on 6 counts of murder.
Yeah. Now, I don't know why is it murder.
Facing life in prison.
I don't know why it's murder.
She killed 6 people.
Yeah, I get it. But the guy, you know, it's so convoluted to me, the charges and how they throw them out. The guy in the liquor store or the gas station that walks up to a car and shoots the car, he doesn't get murder. He gets second degree. No, he didn't. He got second degree.
Which guy was that?
In Florida.
Oh. Okay.
With the loud
Second
music
degree
in
is
the
murder.
car.
Did they put her for first degree?
Oh, with the did they put her for first degree?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because I don't know.
Because that's what we do.
Because that's what you do,
Yeah,
both
that's
of you.
what we do.
You know what?
Well, I mean, she certainly needs to go away for life. I mean, that's just the level of irresponsibility. And she was drunk out of her mind, too, right? Or high or loaded or something.
Going over 100 miles an hour.
Crazy.
As a parent, you've lost a child, okay, who was in the car.
Yeah.
And you have another child who's about to go to prison for the rest of her life.
You've lost, yeah.
I mean, talk about a disconnection. What do you do? How do you deal with that?
I don't know how you deal with that.
And then as a child, how do you look at your parents knowing that you took the life of your sister and 5 other people?
I don't know.
It's got to be very, very tough.
It's got to be.
It's got to be very, very, very tough. We've been talking about having candidates for LA County Sheriff on the show.
Yes.
And we'll have to see if that's going to happen. But
we got holdouts there, too?
No, it's a whole other thing. But anyway, Paul Tanaka, when you talk about dollars,
oh, good Lord.
Believe it or not, Paul Tanaka has outraised everyone that's running.
That's
and
nasty.
He was the one that was directly involved. Okay.
Yeah, and he's the one with the gang tattoo of that secret club of cops.
Tanaka?
Yes, Tanaka.
Oh, well, that's something new to me. He is. I didn't know about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm
but
surprised.
Go ahead and jump with your.
No, I'm surprised you didn't know.
No, I didn't know.
Okay. Well,
But he's
it's
raised $648,000.
crazy.
Okay, and this is kind of interesting because when you
It's
talk
called
about the
the
dollars,
Viking Secret Police Organization, and it was brought to light due to misconduct in 1990. The federal judge at the time actually said that it was similar to neo-Nazi.
I was going to say, that sounds, the Viking thing kind of goes with the Aryan
Yeah,
thing.
that's Tanaka.
Really?
We should all be afraid.
Did they ask him about that on KFI? Is that why he walked off the show?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
don't know.
It's interesting when you look at the different candidates that are running in different elections, whether it's local or whatever, and you look at the dollars. Lancaster City Council, there are some candidates running that don't even have $10,000 in their campaign.
Yeah.
All right. And then you go to state assembly, and now all of a sudden, well, you want to get serious, you better have 6 figures.
So what happens if you lose and you didn't use all the money?
I don't know exactly how that goes, and if somebody does, they can call us live.
I would love to know.
But then you look at the congressional race, okay, and you're talking about $500,000, $1 million, and then you go up to the governor, and Jerry Brown already has a war chest of $20 million.
And see, and
Tim
then
Donnelly
we
has
have the
12,000.
nerve, and we have the nerve to tell people that we live in a land that anybody could become president. No, no, you better have some money.
You better have a lot of money.
So that means anybody cannot. You better have some connects. Anybody with connections can become president. That's what the statement should be.
Skull and bones.
Jeb Bush was just in Las Vegas campaigning for money. He was speaking.
Good Lord.
To one of the wealthiest, he's a casino owner, one of the wealthiest people on the planet, and who had donated at the last presidential campaign. He donated $10 million.
Didn't do well for
because
him.
he can afford to go ahead and do that. It is, but it's not always just about money.
Okay.
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 It's not. Well, okay.
We're
look at this.
circling another planet now.
I'm going to just make a prediction. All right, because Paul Tanaka has raised a lot of money, almost double what the next two candidates have raised. I don't think Paul Tanaka is going to get the win.
Yeah, well, because when it comes down to it, his reputation speaks louder than his dollars.
And he's got some baggage.
He got some, and if people have half a mind, that's an election that's going to count. And they better pay attention to where these people are coming from.
And right, and the people that were mad and pissed off at some of the policies and what happened under Sheriff Lee Baca, you're saying they should really get involved and get engaged.
They sure
But
better.
I bet you they don't.
I know. It's terrible.
It is. That's the problem. Okay? That's the disconnect, that people just don't get out and vote. Okay? Wait till you see the numbers come in for Lancaster City Council. And wait till you see the votes that are cast. And there's not going to be a lot of them. And that's going to be...
well, they need to figure out a way to make voting a little easier. They really do, because
how hard? Here's your polling place. Get in the car, turn the key, and go there.
Yeah, well, people can't
That's
go
pretty
to
easy.
their kids' meeting with their teacher. So if that can't motivate them, then going to vote certainly doesn't. I'm just saying we need to figure out a way to make voting easier. I mean, these people are exhausted. People are driving 2 hours one way to work, 2 hours back home. They're hardly home. They hardly spend any time with their family. They really don't know what's going on because of life getting in the way. So we need to figure it out.
Yeah, we need an app.
That would be genius.
They need to devise a way. Fingerprint, thumbprint, vote.
There are some cities, there are some where you can vote online, but it's not happening in California right now.
No.
Yeah.
No. That would make it easier.
It would.
Because you can do it from your phone.
But it's too bad that, like you brought it up, we've got 70,000 people that commute out of the Antelope Valley, okay, which is a large workforce.
They're the ones that aren't voting.
Yeah.
And you know that they're all probably registered voters.
Yes.
okay, that pay into the tax system and pay their taxes.
And they
everything
can't
else.
get to the poll before
Yeah, get
they
home
leave.
get home
And
after
they can't
it
get.
closes.
Yeah, exactly. So what do? They're not even home long enough.
Well, they
to
can mail
think.
in their ballot.
They're not even home long enough to think to get a mail-in ballot. You know what I mean? They're home to go to sleep.
In 2012, there were a lot of mail-in ballots. There were a lot. Whether there's going to be a lot this year, I don't know. But you watch and see the numbers, and for Lancaster City Council, not a lot of people are going to get out and vote. No, which is too bad.
It is.
And you're going to see it again here on the state
People on my
level.
block is voting. We've talked about it. How you doing? You voting, right?
We carpooling to the.
We talk about it.
You
I
do.
live around a lot of sheriffs.
I don't talk to anybody in the neighborhood.
You do. Are you asking them who they're going to vote for sheriff?
2 hours to go vote.
You should.
No, I really haven't asked them that, but I will because we're pretty friendly. I feel really safe around there. But no, we were talking about the Lancaster City Council.
Well, you should. Next time you're out walking, just get a feel and just ask them, who are you going to vote for sheriff?
I'm going to ask them.
Since there
Straw
are
poll.
deputies and,
But they know I'm
Ask
on the
them.
air, so they're probably going to be like, Angelina.
just, you don't have to use a
I
name.
won't use any names. I'm just gonna.
You don't have to use a name, but it'd be interesting to hear, what they have to say.
Yeah.
So yesterday, late yesterday, they announced that they found 122 pieces.
And they can count them out, but they can't go to them.
Well, they're working on it, okay? And they're all in the general area.
Well, that's how many we
Okay.
dumped, so I'm figuring that's how many is going to be out there.
I love it. They're like, if we find the box, we have 45 days or 40 days to find the box. Well, that's just what they say. Realistically, we only have 30, so we only have
Right.
2 more. They're already setting it up
Yeah.
to not find it.
Well, that box
Well,
kind of
it's 3
wasn't
miles
charged all the
down.
way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's up to, 20,000 feet deep
Yeah, it could be
in the
They
three
can
water.
get
miles
that.
down
We found
there.
the Titanic.
They can get that.
But I think now there's no question.
So who pays for the gas for the Navy that goes to help for this?
The United States government is paying. They've already announced part of their expense.
I don't understand.
Well, the whole world, everybody sent ships and
But it doesn't mean that we have to. That money can go into looking for all our missing children. Let's do that.
well, when there is a disaster in the world, a lot of the countries tend to get on board to assist.
It wasn't a disaster. It was a plane crash.
That's not a disaster?
It was a plane crash.
So what do you do, just leave everybody?
No, I'm just saying, like, the two countries in which that plane was
Talk about
conversing
thick-skinned.
can work it out. I'm keeping it real. There were 3 Americans. 2 of them were nationalists, and one real American. And we're sending Navy ships. But when we can't find. Sorry.
Yeah. No, keep going.
Sorry, but here
comes the next foot.
There's just I don't know. You know that you guys are saying, "Yep, you're right, Ange." I'm saying it, but I'm telling the truth.
No, because there was a plane crash.
Yeah.
Okay, it was in the middle of nowhere.
Steve, how much is that costing?
I don't know the figure. I had seen some numbers.
Just give me any number.
I saw, this is a week ago, that the government had already spent about $25 million.
And we can't do that for our missing children. That's not just or even more important, since we all know that they all are American and born and kind of raised here. We can't do that. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, well. Oh, Kenny, is that you?
Yeah, it's him.
Oh, okay. All right. We're done for the day. Thanks for making us the #1 News Talk radio program in the Antelope Valley, everybody. Have a safe day. It's raining out there, and we'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m.